came out on top in that ban phase and who can outperform maybe in a situation that doesn't favor you, as we see Jibory is going to be on that Rocket Raccoon off the rip. Might just be for packs. We'll see shortly as we head to Celestial Husk.
Back look at the group stages again. I mean, they've lost domination to all of the teams that are out of the tournament, Shib. They lost domination to Fire Strays, they lost domination to Odyssey, and they've had to reverse sweep on best out of 3. So it's a little bit scary for Dreamland because the 100 Thieves are also very good at domination. Only team they lost to is Sentinels, who look to be a pretty solid team in domination as well, just losing to Envy, who was another top team. We'll see how this bodes, but hopefully for Dreamland's sake, they can maybe get some value out of this Jeff combination with Chime, and stinkrs also getting Phoenix.
As we'll start up now, Vinnie is going to be there on Venom. Venom does a great job of stalling this point with that middle segment, so Chuckles will be doing the same. This is a very strong Venom map, and Venom will be seeing a little bit of a buff coming up here in the next patch with some of that anti-heal potential out of the Feast of the Abyss Ultimate. 30% of anti-healing in there. Going to force those cooldowns out. Vinnie just looking at the strategist line, biding some time and space, and almost getting the point there. Good touch from the side of Dreamland to hold on, but again, nobody falling, as both the Venoms are just doing a dance here, trying to make the teams look at each other. Valentina gonna find that pick onto Terra early. Chime onto Malenia, and now they're looking up and potentially taking this point, as the point is heavily looking in 100 Thieves' favor so far. MACE, though, gonna find Vinnie. Keep it going as Chuckles takes out TTK, and they will get this point.
Yeah, huge start in these neutrals. I think Dreamland are doing a good job collapsing, and also MACE shutting down that point, making sure TTK is never in a good spot. Ultimate's built up for 100 Thieves now. They switched Terra over to the Star-Lord. We saw Star-Lord permaban in the last series. So now we get to see him back on the Star-Lord, but in this traditional 2-2-2 style, both teams are actually not playing that, rather, with Dreamland on that Jeff. And we'll see in this upcoming fight how they do with this Jeff. Is it going to get countered? This is Jeff. It doesn't even matter. Jibory starts it off with Malenia going down.
That's a good start again for the side of Dreamland with an early pick there. Shows showcasing the power of Rocket, which, you know, in that ultimate, which is not only strong now, will be getting a 20% increase in damage in the next match while still maintaining that health. As we, for those who do remember, early seasons, Rocket only had a damage boosting ultimate. It did not heal you, and that has been recently changed. And now the numbers of that damage boost are going back to the original state. So big buff here for Rocket, and the nerf to Phoenix will put him in a better spot. So likely we'll see more play of Rocket coming up here in ladder, and although he's definitely playing ladder and in this level of play. As we start off once more, Terra going to start with the Galactic Legend. That is very close there on MACE, who was able to hold on, but Terra finds Valentina now. 100 Thieves trying to walk forward up a number. Out we go with the It's Jeff from Chime. Does that find value? Chime is very low. Terra going to spin, but will it be enough damage? It is not for the moment. The spit goes out, and nobody falls there. Malenia going to bring out the dance floor. MACE trying to hold on, but not for long as TTK gets that pick. But 70% here for Dreamland early on is a huge number in the first set of fights.
And they lose Jibory, who does res MACE at the very least, right? So MACE back in the fight to stall it out. Ult's committed. MACE actually finds one. stinkrs on to another. And even through this invisible boundary of Harvey, 2 are down.
And we're starting again. Chime on this position. It looks like the team is together here right now, as you can see from the player cam on the bottom right. Up we go. End song, bang, lands in, does not find a pick. MACE gonna find delenaa. Chuckles onto Harvey, and again Dreamland are looking lights out at 96%. Can they take this and set the pace early on, or will this portal come through? It does. TTK on point with portal. delenaa gonna res back up, but will they be able to bring the team up? He might. No, the whole team and does not allow that to happen as stinkrs gets that pick. And again Dreamland are playing lights out, keeping this momentum. I'm going to use this Sia to just have that damage boost, and that is some great animation cancel there by stinkrs. Down goes everyone, and it looks like Dreamland may be able to do this right now, unless Chuckles on the side of Dreamland, it will hold on, and that is map 1 Dreamland against 100 Thieves.
We've heard the fan base of Dreamland say this dive comp looked beautiful.
Yeah, a lot of good neutral play there as the kidnap is being set up. That is why these walls will be prematurely set, and they're looking for anyone potentially in the back line. And again, you click that button and it's almost instantaneous. Team gonna fully commit through it instead. Come in heavy now. stinkrs with the walls up, trying to find a pick. Still not able to do so, but yes, they do now as TTK goes down. And again, Emma does great in those neutral battles there. Out goes the It's Jeff and finds one onto Malenia. Potentially off mapping here is Chime, as it is a flyer, so you likely have to commit with it unless it's fast enough, which it is fast enough from Chime onto Malenia, and that is another pick. Dreamland looking awoken now and absolutely popping off here in these fights. I would go with the Sonic Seduction.
Oh, and delenaa had to drop 2 for it. Sorry, Shib, as they start to fight off. MACE is doing so much.
Absolutely. Do not worry, my friend. Again, Dreamland is just looking so good together. These neutrals are wild. Held on to ults there. Valentina committed the boundary during those fights, and that is the advantage to holding on to those ults, and that is the patience, the understanding of play in that first map to not overcommit. Just use Jibory's ult, just use that Sia to ensure you win the fight and hold on to something for your strategist. And even if you lose a few, as long as you win the point, it doesn't matter, and you can win this guaranteed first fight. Already 20% on, holding them near spawn. Try to buy time, and this could be a huge strangling prison opportunity or eye from Chuckles or Stinkrs. Jibory is holding on to the Sia as well. There's that strangling prison. Can they commit? Out goes the Sia. Terra finds Stinkrs though, and is making that switch onto the storied Bucky that he can play.
And they're sort of living right constantly at the moment. They go for the pick. Oh my goodness. Terra, 3 in that fight with the Kraken impact. Might as well make it 4 with the follow-up. Beautiful job from him. In Dreamland, off of those, it was very interesting shit with the pickoff. I mean, they're going the triple comp that we would usually see on like a convoy map, making 100 Thieves sort of react in a bit of an uncomfortable way.
Yeah, agreed. It has been successful so far. We are now going to see that Wolverine come out to help shut down Vinnie. And that is, again, a very strong pick into Groot, similar to something like Angela on certain maps that does find success with those pulls onto large-bodied vanguards. And again, Valentina will have that ult ready. Jibory and Valentina have been rotating very well. She will likely use it to counteract something like delenaa if need be, who is holding onto that Endsong Inferno, but that damage boost combination is available there with Malenia. Good pick there by delenaa onto Chime, and that's a great opening to this fight, but that res comes through from Jibory, so the numbers are still even. There is that heal. The dance will out from Malenia, likely the damage boost combination coming in shortly. Will it land? It looks like they're not able to make that happen as delenaa is forced into this off angle in building. Ton of damage goes out as MACE starts off with the Sonic Seduction, gets one walking, and that's going to be Vinnie. Will they be able to collapse? They cannot at the moment. Valentina finds a pick on delenaa in the off angle in that neutral. Hxrvey is going to bring back delenaa though, so the numbers are still holding on, and 100 Thieves now are up at 60%. Will they be able to maintain? And out we go again with the impact and the Endsong Inferno. The Sia's double are both launched at the same time, but that gets deleted immediately. Vinnie gonna find Valentina, and the picks are again going in the favor of 100 Thieves, who are looking more locked in right now than on map 1.
Yeah, this is looking great. I mean, they're stalling it out. They need to sort of take advantage of their Luna advantage, right? They go for that protect and ban earlier, and you know, a lot of teams have sort of shied away from that. They're fine playing Invisible Woman instead of Luna Snow. 100 Thieves didn't get the combination off, and they lose. Oh, delenaa just goes down at the beginning of the fight very, very early. Maybe a bit too aggressive out of him.
Yeah, that's the tricky bit of pushing forward a little too much, playing a little you know, maybe a little cocky in that moment. The touch does come through here, and numbers are now going to be in the advantage of Dreamland ults as well. This is their fight to lose. Will they be able to make it happen? Meteor M available. Last stand available here. The tackle goes out right towards the back line. TTK in a dangerous position now. Going to force out cooldowns. Will they be able to hold on? No. Chuckles going to take out TTK. Terra going to find Jibory. Hxrvey going to bring back TTK, so that pick does not find too much value. Dance Floor is out to shut that down. Vinnie going to find Stinkrs there to trade that right back. And again, 100 Thieves are going to find even more. This should be theirs. They bring it back to map 3, and they do.
Huge chipped up from 100 Thieves, and you know, they didn't panic. That's the terrifying part, is that Dreamland wins Celestial Vault, then on Convoy, but now 100 Thieves, they're gonna have Vinnie back on the Groot again, and we know this team can play this front to back style.
It would be a huge trend set here for Dreamland to take home this first map as we do start up once more. A lot of ults available here for 100 Thieves, and just a few available here for Dreamland, as you'll see delenaa, Vinnie, Terra, and Hxrvey available on 100 Thieves throughout this fight, whereas MACE, Valentina, and Jibory potentially chime to later on in the fight to try to match that back. But this is a very strong Jeff map if you're able to make it happen.
Yeah, the big shift up is putting, like you mentioned, him on the Jeff, but delenaa finds him early. Oh, geez, and Stinkrs back over to Phoenix at the very least, but it's already starting off in a horrible way for Dreamland, losing their Jeff that early.
It's another one of those very strong group maps where there are those tight lines where you can shut them down with 1 or 2 walls and completely shut off angles from the back line. Hxrvey gonna bring out the Sia. Terra with 1. Do we see more? Make it 2, why don't ya? Potentially up in the sky for 3, and that will be 3, as again Terra is gonna find multiple with this Kraken impact. Absolutely lights out with this hero, and just consistently popping off after that switch.
I don't think we see a lot of teams really just be able to make this 2-2 work so well. And the 100 Thieves is very unique in this sort of style. Maybe only like a VP is another 2-2-2 sort of team sometimes. 100 Thieves, though, they get to take advantage with the putting delenaa on Phoenix, a very aim-centric hero, and then Terra on his Bucky. And we've seen him many times pop off on that hero. But stinkrs going to have to go huge for Dreamland in this neutral yet again.
Chime finding delenaa early to trade that back. Could be a good start, but that res comes through from hxrvey. Team going to be walked back by the meteor ram. That does land directly on Chime's head. Well done by TTK there. Out we go with stinkrs trying to get the animation cancel on the melee. Finding value either way as hxrvey goes down. Bang! Make that 2 as Malenia. Now MACE finds delenaa. And again, onto Vinnie. Dreamland going to be taking this point back very early on with only 44% there for 100 Thieves.
And Chime sort of the sacrificial shark in this case, right? Taking the brunt of TTK's ult, one of the stronger ults as well. Tough part with Jeff is that, you know, I think early on people, you know, took advantage of maybe not being practiced enough versus Jeff and the hxrvey ultimates. Nowadays, people are sort of reacting to it well. We saw that Meteor M come out, but Dreamland, understanding they have the ult advantage, sort of just press forward off of Chime's early pick on the Jeff.
And we'll start once more. MACE taking that space and owning it. 30% on here for Dreamland. stinkrs going to take the off angle, and it is huge right there. The great pop there of the passive on the stacks. The stun goes out, does not land. MACE going to start up here trying to find the Psionic Seduction. There is value in forcing that last second seduction so that you can deal damage while they're still walking. Almost happening there on a TTK, but does not fully pull through. hxrvey going to launch out the Sia, trying to get this pull. stinkrs, though, immediately going to find 2, almost 3. Terra going to turn that back, but still a ton of value there, and stinkrs is right back in the fight. So a huge trade here for Dreamland, who are now up in percentage.
stinkrs is nasty. That was incredible, but MACE also collapses on it. And we'll see if Dreamland keeps this up. This has been a big change for them, right? The largest thing for Dreamland, honestly, is the roster construction is great, but stinkrs has really taken a level up in terms of his overall mechanics. He has been grinding the game nonstop, and you can see it.
A very strong player. Once again, Vinnie now going to be making that change off the Groot and is going to be running cap. Trying to be available and ready with that freedom charge. Ult advantage heavily up here for Dreamland, who have almost 5 available. Will have 5 in this fight if need be. Chime on an off angle, trying to make a play with Jeff here. Out goes that Sia. We match right back. MACE going to find Malenia early on, though, and that is a nice neutral pick, even through some of these ults. And you got jibory, using that Sia on the backside of Dreamland, but no one else committing there. Still holding on to Chime, Chuckles, and MACE. And Valentina very close as well, with an early pick there from Valentina onto TTK prior to the Psionic Seduction rolling out, and they're going to commit for more. The portal comes through from Malenia. Will they be able to make this happen now, as there is only 2 available on the strategist line? delenaa going to be on the Warlock, hxrvey on the Rocket. Not a lot of mainline healing there. delenaa finds that pick, though, onto Chime and makes it work, but Chime comes right back from the res. There has been so much value in that BRB in this matchup.
Yeah, but I don't know how, like, Vinnie didn't die in the previous fight, and now he's on to Malenia. His you know, ducking and diving around corners, also the change up to Adam Warlock on this map is enabling this squad right now for 100 Thieves as they come back with their backs against the wall, right? That was huge plays from 100 Thieves.
Yeah, I mean, this is a crazy composition to have Warlock, Rocket. It was very much for the touch, but now they're kind of locked into that comp, but that res is available for delenaa, and it could be huge. But again, this is that conversation we had before of tracking down the Warlock post KO and ensuring that they are in a dangerous position when they do launch that Karmic Revival. Vinnie trying to make a play here onto Chime. Chime not quite available with ultimate yet, instead just trying to distract, but Cap is all over the place right now.
Yeah, they're pressing off that Jeff on his off angle, and he can't stay. Oh, he's down again. Oh my goodness. I mean, Chime has just been hard focused by 100 Thieves as a unit right now, and that's an insane pickoff, right? 83% on the board. Chime has to come back on Jeff. 100 Thieves are building up ultimates, and you know, every single time the hxrvey comes out, TDK is there with the Meteor M. We're 10% away. Dreamlands don't have ults yet either, and they're gonna have to survive, build up these ultimates, and maybe panic. Hopefully 100 Thieves don't maybe push them off the point in there for their sake.
Yeah, I like that follow-up. I think 100 Thieves have done a great job ensuring they do not get found by that It's Jeff at all. Either great tracking or great commitment on things like you're saying of TTK with that Meteor M to counteract Make sure they cannot make that work, and that has been huge for them. MACE, though, gonna find a pick here onto TTK. Try to win this right back as the Sonic Seduction comes out now with the damage boost from the Sia, but the res is out. Everybody back in the fight there once more. Dreamland loses stinkrs. TTK back in. Terra holding on the point here. Gonna drop back with some good positioning. Try to find Chuckles, who is making that play. Playing hyper aggro with the freedom charge. Terra in a dangerous position, but great cooldown utilization to drop back towards the rocket, and still holding on there from hxrvey, who doesn't fall either. Great rotation, but the numbers are evened out. Out we go with Valentina. She's going to be using that invisible boundary. stinkrs finds CTK once more. That res will not come through. Oh, it does from the BRB, excuse me, as numbers are even again. Malenia holding on here with the strange, goes down from MACE, and that is the power of Emma into these shielding tanks. There is that it's Jeff, and will this one find value? Everybody focus. No, it does not. Terra finds Chime, who goes down again, shutting down the it's Jeff. TTK in a dangerous position once more, does not have cooldowns, and doing diamond form Emma. Chuckles finds delenaa. stinkrs on a Terra, and they could do this now. Dreamland is gonna find TTK. The OT is ticking down, and the stall is out, but Vinnie falls, and here comes the portal. Can they maintain position? They do for the moment.
Yeah, for the moment, but they don't have shredded his ult ship, and the job is done for Dreamland. Map #1 going their way, and it's a huge one for them, shit, because of, you know, like we mentioned before, I mean, this is one of their worst map types, at least from the group stages. Moving forward, though, that's a massive win over 100 Thieves. And I think that right now, Shiv, this appears to be, you know, nerves potentially for Dreamland, just because they, you know, lost the point to 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves really showing their veterancy, stalling out the objective forever, playing that front to back style so well. TTK bubbling the right person at the right time every single time, but eventually it was too much, and Dreamland overcame their potential deficits.
Yeah, I mean, they looked very good. I do agree. Maybe their on map 2 is a little bit of a struggle, but I mean, that was like...
Attacking side is more than likely they'll play against that 3-3 composition that we know and love. At least I do. I know a lot of people in the viewership section, maybe not as big of fans of it.
Yeah, and I mean, one thing I'm curious about...
They wanted to, right? They have a player who, you know, was pretty much known for one-tricking a character that was infamous in part of the GOATs, right, in MACE. Now over to the Emma Frost, a lot of more main tank flexibility has been MACE in the current esports scene. So at the current moment, 100 Thieves, they already take down jibory, going for that dive like you said with Vinnie already.
Yeah, I mean, that was insanely quick. I believe crystals were still available. They might have been burned instantly, but I don't believe I saw them. Terra is going to get that torch, and that is another one of those very strong picks, and the entire team gets deleted off the rip here. 100 Thieves coming out with a vengeance, taking it early on as the portal will come through right at this ramp for fight 2.
Yeah, 100 Thieves says you gotta do better than that, right? You gotta be able to protect jibory. He's the guy that should be able to dodge around, you know, play low-key evasive. At the current moment, sitting above is Terra, understanding where 100 Thieves want to take the fight. What do you do about that?
That is a huge pick early on and going to show the power of Torch. Malenia going to find jibory again, but it's already 2 numbers down. Make it 3 as Terra finds Chime. TTK onto Chuckles now, and they're keeping this momentum walking. Plenty of time on. Terra onto Valentina. TTK onto MACE, and they will get very close to this point. It's all a matter of can this touch come through from Chuckles to buy enough time for them to stop point 1.
And they need some answers. Here's stinkrs going to be on Phoenix, but shields come out. Can anybody even touch in time? The answer is no. We're heading to second phase. And like you mentioned, Terra has been terrifying on Human Torch. He's consistently been one of the best Torch players, if not the best Torch player in the tournament, just in terms of how many times he's given the hero and how many times he's made the other team pay.
Yeah, and that's the value to working on heroes. Terra was never really known for playing a ton of Torch until stage 2 here, and then getting a ton of value on Torch. Out goes that eye. Great timing there from TTK to try to force that out and get that pick there from the side on the side of Valentina, but that shield comes through to keep Valentina healthy, who is able to retreat backwards. Terra is going to force out that Nova. It is gone. Out we go with the Ensong Inferno here from delenaa. Malenia going to bring out the dance floor. delenaa finds MACE there after the fact with that wave. Still going to get that pick, even though the damage boost was just a little bit too late there. TTK finds Chuckles and still progressing forward with 4 minutes and 17 on the clock.
And a big change up 100 Thieves have done, which I've liked since the last series, even though they did lose it, is putting delenaa more on the Phoenix, right? In these 2-2-2 styles. It's tough because delenaa also has a good Phoenix, but you could tell delenaa's a lot more comfortable on this hero. Not that he's bad at Ultron necessarily. He also has been a lot better at Ultron as of late, but it's nice to see him on Phoenix. And at the moment, 100 Thieves, they don't have any ults, but a neutral. Oh my God, they find MACE.
Wow. And Terra's going to take out Jibory again. These teams with these 1-2 right now. 100 Thieves just finding these neutral picks almost at every single fight at this point. The momentum is heavily in their favor. You got to get back on Dreamland. You got to reset. You got to come in and find some picks. There is the pick to start this off as Terra goes down. Stinkrs going to try to put some damage out on Vinnie, who is not able to grapple out. Forces out more cooldowns. So again, Stinkrs with some great shots here. Progressing forward, and out goes the hxrvey from Chime. And that will find some success here. And potentially off map unless the jump's up. This is a pretty good counter to Jeff if available, unless the speed's too much. He's going to buy more time. The jump is not available, and that is a pick there. Well done on tracking cooldowns from Chime.
Yeah, unfortunately for 100 Thieves, despite their pickoffs in the neutral, mainly Stinkrs just able to take down his counterpart, or at least take down Terra in that fight, and that sort of gave him the edge. You need Terra alive in these 2-2 styles to win. You can't really ever come back via sustain due to the fact you're not playing a triple stratus composition, and at the moment, Dreamland trying to up the pace, make sure 100 Thieves get some bad ultimates off.
Chuckles setting up for the engagement here. This is a very strong Venom point on defense. Just keep using that wall to your advantage. You always initiate with a wall climb dive and then use your swing to get out. Those who are working on Venom, keep that process in mind. MACE going to be starting now using the Psionic Seduction onto the front line, but the shields are too much to bear here from the side of TTK. Great eat there, not having to commit too many cooldowns. Vinnie, though, going to find Chuckles in that fight on the back line and still going to walk forward. Jibory is getting chased here by a ton.
What?
Fall from Vinnie under with the Feast of the Abyss with using that damage from Ensong Inferno, or that damage from Ensong Inferno. That timing was wild. Really well done in a more coordinated play by 100 Thieves there.
For sure, Vinnie's been really playing well this series, even though they lost round number 1. We'll see he's waiting over the top side for the perfect dive. Obviously, waiting out those Stratus ults in the current moment. All ults from Dreamland side. Last time Chuckles was dealt with by 100 Thieves. Can they deal with him again, as well as Stinkrs falls low on the top side angle?
And I love the gaming positions that you see as some of these some of these people smelling the screen, if you will, like I do. When I'm playing the game, you just get so immersed. Your face, yeah, your face is essentially touching the screen. I love it. But here we go on the off angle now. Stinkrs trying to make a play again. Eye of Agamotto is launched. Does find one, but it is matched right back with the hxrvey. Will they be able to cancel it? They do. TTK finds Chime. Terra is going to get a pick as well onto Chuckles. TTK. Stinkrs finds Malenia. Delenaa is taking out Stinkrs, and it just so back and forth here. Crystal gets popped by TTK, who's very low in HP, but not enough. The point's still moving forward. MACE gonna have to touch in a dangerous position, and we are gonna see a bond get launched, keeping the side of Dreamland healthy and retaking that position. Well done on the defense here.
Ooh, I thought delenaa was going to try to use his ult there, but he wanted to get saved by hxrvey. Him going down was kind of big. The stall from Dreamland's been huge. They lose Valentina. Jibory can maybe build that dance floor, though, because TTK goes down, and Stinkrs just holding onto that ult, pressured out the back line of 100 Thieves.
This is an incredible defense right now. A very defensible position, but at this point, 4 minutes and 17 seconds on this attack, and now we're down to a 30-second situation, and you do have TTK already on strange, so if TTK is one of the last to fall in the fight, there will be no portal play back, so we are in final fight territory, potentially making a portal play off rip. Looks like they're going to hold on in case that is the case where TTK falls early, but we start off once more.
And this is a traditional 2-2-2 versus 2-2-2 shift. Never would have thought we'd seen the day, but Dreamland forced into it. Can't even take the advantage of running a 3-stratus composition. Stinkrs finds Terra early.
And out we go with the Psionic Seduction. Now, it is going to find a few walking backwards. The question is, can they get them off point for long enough? 3 seconds. They need to touch now. Will they be able to do? They do. And out goes that eye. He gets killed with a huge tackle there to follow up on TTK, who is very low, is able to escape there with some high ground positioning. They're maintaining point right now. Chuckles with an eye, looking at the back line. TTK blocks it and shuts it down. Vinnie with a strangling prison gets 3, and it is huge now, as again 100 Thieves are using this momentum, and it looks like they will get this point. What a fight here by 100 Thieves.
You put Vinnie back on a Groot, and good things happen. The team deals with those backline flankers. They deal with that Eye of Agamotto coming out soon. Yeah, you shut down TTK's Eye of Agamotto, but then he comes back and helps peel off Dreamland, who are changing things up. They put Chuckles back over to the Groot now instead, and I don't know. I'd be a little scared at the moment as Dreamland is, 100 Thieves, this is kind of their matchup, and for Dreamland, they weren't even taking advantage when they had Chime back on this, onto the Jeffs. So now over to this Bucky. We'll see what Dreamland can do, but for 100 Thieves, they still have Terra on the torch in the sky.
Yeah, I think the idea here is to shut down Vinnie a little bit, who, as you had said, is playing very well. That was a massive ultimate for that point. Pretty much guaranteed them the point. Also, TTK doing a good job there, shutting down the eye and then finding value and turning it right back at him. And here we go now. Out we go with the end song. delenaa going to find chime early, though, and that's going to allow Vinnie to walk forward very aggressively, who's at 95 to the next stall. Out goes TTK, who takes out Valentina and stinkrs. Malenia onto MACE. The portal wall comes up. Can they get this here in time? Looks like it will be, and out goes one. The second going to be placed. Will this be enough for them to get the point? We'll find out shortly. They've got a 3-stack on, and was it placed well? It looks like it might have an opening on the right side, but we'll see shortly. It does have an opening. They're able to escape through it with a few at least.
And that's going to matter for sure, but they put stinkrs over to that Wolverine. MACE also starts it off, but stinkrs' passive's already popped. That's going to be huge moving forward as 100 Thieves have Strangling Prison up.
The ton of space bought there did allow them to move forward. I'm surprised they were not able to get any picks, even though half the team was forced out in the spawn door. delenaa going to launch here again, playing Bucky, which is normally seen by Terra, and they're willing to switch up. Valentina finds Terra, though, who is in the sky there on the torch. Malenia launching that dance floor, keeping the team up and healthy, but there's nothing left. Ults out for Dreamland as we see the combination. Valentina going to bring out the internal bond. The Strangling Prison holds on. Will they be able to get back here? Everyone falls. OT ticking down. The defensive side of Dreamland holds them before point 3.
Yeah, what a hold from Dreamland. I mean, that second phase of the map shift where they just held for basically 2.5 to 3 minutes kind of won them the series. But towards the end, I mean, you're wondering, okay, you know, why? But at the moment, this is an absolute just back and forth game between both of these teams.
Yeah, honestly, just perfectly with that kid.
And it's interesting, 100 Thieves, if we take a look at them right at the roster, picking up Nuck, and, you know, today he's not even playing, right? So it's very interesting to see that Malenia sort of come in as that sub and has been a mainstay of this roster. We'll see if things change, obviously, moving forward, but 100 Thieves obviously very happy with their current setup of their squad.
Yeah, and just for a lore perspective, Malenia was actually a duelist as well and transitioned to trying to learn this role and has been openly admitting that in interviews. So very, very, you know, a strong player in his own right, able to make that switch and still get a ton of value. One pick goes down as Terra falls. Will that be enough? As stinkrs is going to be here on the Wolverine, dealing a ton of damage. That should be a 2-piece now out of TTK. Portal's going to be launched relatively early, and he's just going to try to hold and wait here as the portal will come through on ramp, but it didn't fall too early on the point. Having it be all the way up here as the team falls down is a little rough, but it should still be enough for them to get 3 takes. We'll see shortly.
Yeah, I wonder what the win rate is of 100 Thieves' first fight, triple composition. It doesn't feel like it's very good. Usually they actually get a good fight here on that second point. So we'll see if Dreamland built up enough ultimates to stave off 100 Thieves.
Yeah, 100 Thieves has owned up to not being as comfortable on the triple compositions. I'm curious about Dreamland's take on that for their team. Terra going to find Jibory early. Valentina going to be taking out Harvey. Numbers evened out in terms of strategists, but as I say that, Malenia going to bring back Harvey instantly with that right back to point. Chime going to try to find this off angle here onto delenaa, and that stun is huge. delenaa trying to make the play happen. Not quick enough. Chime with some nice damage, but Vinnie onto Valentina trades another strategist, both of which are down again, but 100 Thieves and Dreamland are holding on to 4 ultimates. Question is, whose will get more value? We'll find out in this fight.
I mean, how's Malenia just lived that whole time? I mean, this guy is being so sneaky on the Rocket Raccoon, diving, dashing around. Now out of the sky, takes down Terra, though, on the opposite angle. stinkrs, huge pull from him.
And we'll start up again. Harvey going to commit the boundary. delenaa's res it out. Terra back in the fight now once again. Ult only available for Dreamland on Chime, who does have that end song available. Good focus here through that structure rebuild. That was disgusting. A lot of shots land on a very difficult target to land on in that Human Torch. Chuckles looking for a play here. Just trying to build that out quickly. Out goes that eye. And it's huge. Onto the front line. Will that be able to collapse? Unfortunately, does not get the Wolverine. Not able to retake down on the low side as that Wolverine could make a big play. And here we go. The end song Inferno. Chime and stinkrs going to take out 2, and now 100 Thieves need to try to retake onto point 3 if they're able. Feast of the Abyss comes out. Chime going to find Malenia, and no strategists are left now. Dreamland are going to shove through point 1, and I'm not sure the touch can come through.
Yeah, it definitely is not. And we're heading to the second phase. So both teams sort of taking a page out of each other's book. I believe 100 Thieves' attack was a little bit quicker, but that was still a huge attack by Dreamland. stinkrs opening it up, shutting down Terra in the sky on Wolverine. We've seen that a lot on Central Park, I feel like. Terra, of all people, usually shuts down those flying characters on the Wolverine. stinkrs today being the hero for Dreamland. But can they keep it up right in the second phase? They do have ult advantage. They got that Eternal Bond ready to go. They can also break Malenia with this ult. But in the second phase of the map, you could put it in a bit of a safer spot. We'll see if he wants to do that or to chuck it out. Maybe use it to buy some eyes for the squad, as Chuckles also has Trailing Prison combination coming up for Dreamland.
Yeah, Dreamland just about a minute behind 100 Thieves on this first point and did a great job defending until overtime here on point 2. The question is, will 100 Thieves be able to do the same thing? MACE gonna keep that laser out, deal a ton. Out goes a huge Strangling Prison. hxrvey in the back line, make that 2. As delenaa goes down. Jibory finds CTK. hxrvey back in the fight, but at this point, you got to retake and get back to your team. You just fall on point if possible, and that will be the case. delenaa trying to make a play here. Valentina tracking that, though. Will delenaa be able to get this play? Good positioning here by Valentina. Now Chuckles follows in on delenaa. That stagger could be massive. It is, but Terra gets 2 back on the other side on point.
Yeah, what is it? I mean, Malenia's on the height with Vinnie and Terra. They're going to try to clutch with a supernova. I mean, might as well. You found 2 in the neutral somehow. Could make it more.
Wow. Malenia comes through on the portal, and they are able to hold here as they are now using that portal to retake once more, owning the space, finding 3 in the neutral after delenaa just bought a ton of time, honestly, into Chuckles and Valentina. So that was actually, I thought it was going to be a struggle on the super late stagger, but it ended up working out incredibly well for them.
Yeah, good point. Now that they were lacking the healing, and now in this upcoming fight, 100 Thieves have an edge, right? Huge ults used in the last fight. You just need that supernova to close it out. And right now, I mean, it's looking definitely like don't give Terra Human Torch, because he'll do things like that with his Vanguard and Vinnie.
Out goes the eye. Likely a push comes through. No one falls there from the Eye of Agamotto up in the sky. stinkrs just trying to get this all quickly. 75% looking directly at the torch spinning in the sky. Very difficult to dodge. Torch does fall. Terra goes down. Valentina gets that pick, but the rest comes through. Chuckles gonna find hxrvey. Malenia bringing back Terra. hxrvey comes through from delenaa. Everyone falls, but everyone right back in the fight with a mean res here as delenaa brings back everyone on the team. The question is, can they maintain this position through the struggle? Terra gonna find Valentina and turn the numbers around. But out we go with the Galactic Legend from stinkrs, and that's going to burn that Sia quickly. A ton of damage out there, almost finding that pick in the sky. Does find that pick in the sky with delenaa, and Chuckles going to have to drop back once more. And this is such, again, a back and forth fight, but at this point, Dreamland up 1 ultimate. hxrvey, as I say, that is going to lock in and have that ult, the invisible boundary as well, and MACE ready with the Psionic in this next fight.
Yeah, last time the Sonic came out from MACE, I believe Terra just sort of waited it out, and they find MACE early while he's popping it. Oh, that could be the nail in the coffin for Dreamland. Losing that ult and MACE back to back, that's brutal.
Yeah, I mean, we are going to have another ult advantage fight here for Dreamland, but as I say that, hxrvey going to find another neutral pick there onto Chuckles, and that is, again, going to drive them backwards. 30-second territory here, folks. 100 Thieves trying to even the score 1-1. Dreamland going to be ready to retake. Should have enough time for the touch. Ult advantage now back in 100 Thieves' favor, but almost everyone on Dreamland, besides MACE, will be available in this next fight to get ult if it is extended. But again, 100 Thieves needs to win it right now while they're up. That Eye of Agamotto goes out. Unfortunately, does not find value. Malenia going to bring back Terra, who falls early in that fight. TTK in a dangerous spot. Good dive here by Chuckles. TTK jumps right back to the res, and there is delenaa to meet. Really good play there by delenaa, and just understanding and positioning to be ready for TTK in that moment. delenaa finds stinkrs. Chime finds Malenia. Out they go. Will that get broken? It does not. Vinnie gonna find Valentina now, and the numbers are again up for 100 Thieves as delenaa brings back everyone who falls. Malenia's in. Terra gonna find Chime, and at this point it is a dangerous spot for Dreamland. Portal coming in here shortly from Valentina. Can they maintain this position for them?
Yeah, it's looking like Terra alive with Vinnie is just too much to overcome. And they're not even playing the Luna Snow, for example, for 100 Thieves. They don't even need it. They just want the invis to pull Chuckles, make sure his life is miserable. They tie it up 1-1. 100 Thieves win on Aegis Path. And Dreamland honestly looks a little bit nervous now, Shib, against the veterans of 100 Thieves.
Yeah, being held on that first corner for that long is tough. Granted, both spawns are very long, and it's all about just picks in the neutral, and we saw so much on both sides. But even in moments where Dreamland had those neutral value picks, like we saw there at the end, Terra would come in heavy and find a few.
Attack as they start there first.
Yeah, the raid boss of a potential snowflake, as well as that team up there with Invis and the shield is so much.
You have some room to experiment. Let's see how good 100 Thieves with that Jeff comp is, potentially, if they want to play it. But the bigger story is they're still giving Terra that torch the current moment, and he's going to have to make them pay if 100 Thieves want to win on a map that you talked about earlier is Dreamland's best.
We start up now. Off we go on the high side. Terra, again, that torch, a huge threat. The whole team looking like they're going to try to take that off-angle height here, but it is being matched at the moment. And yeah, they're kind of just stalled, unable to make that play. The res beacon being set up, the BRB there. Terra going to play right in front of their face, because why not? You can deal a ton of DOT damage in that little location. And MACE is kind of left alone in this moment. They're collapsing heavy. MACE does fall early on. Great focus and retake there by the side of 100 Thieves on that call out. Just really strong communication, but the res comes right back there for MACE.
Yeah, I believe, was that res on the high ground too? I don't know if Damn was up here with them, but okay, that's something we have to watch out for. But we know that these Namor teams love to take this top right angle shiv and set up their Namor.
Yeah, and exactly like we called out, the Namor team up is going to be there to help counteract that a bit. And back we go now here. Vinnie going to retake. Malenia is going to be on that Jeff. There is a good off-map location at this point. So Terra will still be, you know, pocketed in the sky there by hxrvey, but not as much with the Flake, as the Flake will not be available at this moment, but it is available as a selection later on if need be. Stinkrs going to find hxrvey early on in this fight, keep this space and own it, as right now Jeff is essentially out and ready, and the shield comes in perfect timing. Goodbye to Malenia there. Good patience. Again, holding on near the Hulk, ready for that cooldown.
Yeah, they know the Jeff is the priority, though, so they immediately pop the res on that engage. delenaa also finds jibory, and with that, actually, stinkrs just finds 2-3 tridents to the face of 100 Thieves.
Yeah, I mean, it's still very strong. Haven't seen it a lot, at least in our matchups here, but Hulk Namor is obscene, and that buys them 0.1 pretty decidedly. 4 minutes 38 on here, but we have seen teams push through 0.1 and then get held up at 0.2, which is, again, very similar to what we saw in Yggdrasil, a defensible position for the defense.
Yeah, Terra's going to go over to Phoenix as well, finding his opportunities not really there, not showing themselves because of the bubbles from the Hulk. Also, the fact that you're against one of the most evasive lineups ever, right? With the Rocket, with the Ultron, with the Jeff. On the right side, too. Right now, 100 Thieves are split. Vinnie's trying to at least maybe dislodge this push, but at the moment, Dreamland's actually played this Namor comp very clinical, pretty much to a T.
Yeah, and they're going to keep the pressure on it.
Okay,
with the will. That does not find too much value. A decent idea here from Stinkrs, who is going to have that pocket Ultron at all times and just deal a ton of damage to Vinnie, who was a problem on that last map, and now is getting heavy focus. Make that 2 as Terra goes down now, making that switch over to Phoenix as discussed. hxrvey falls from Chuckles, and Dreamland looking like a team playing very confident on this map. They know what they're doing here, as is indicated by their record.
I think in previous weeks we've seen teams ban out the Hulk, we ban out like Chuckles' hero pool, and yeah, he's definitely one of the better Hulk players in the game at the current moment, alongside Impunity and, you know, some of the other names at the top for sure. The current moment, Dreamland sitting up on the high ground though, and they did use some ults in the previous one. 100 Thieves still banking up their own, but they are missing full strat ults and their Jeff ult.
That was an insane position there by Stinkrs to dodge that at that moment. Chime gonna put a ton of damage out here with the Rage of Ultron instead, keep the team healthy. Good ult there in the end as MACE finds delenaa, and again Dreamland are walking, and they have not stopped. 3 minutes on, very close to 0.2 here in the streets phase, and ton of healing out as jibory is ready with that. It's Jeff if necessary, but at the moment instead gonna be looking at Vinnie, who will fall.
So delenaa's going over to the Luna Snow too, by the way, or has been off of the Adam Warlock. To be honest, I wouldn't mind, as you know, jibory just eats up his own teammates for a second. I wouldn't mind if we maybe go back to 2 style, right? Dreamland's backline is not KOable at the current moment. These squids are doing a little bit too much. If we put delenaa maybe over to the Bucky or Terra, maybe Malenia's over to the Star-Lord, okay? We're going to 2-2-2, but it's the strategist player and the former duelist player that you mentioned going over to it.
Yeah, I don't know if we've seen that from this team yet. I can't tell if that is a smart decision or a panic decision in this moment. I guess we'll find out shortly, but already Terra going to find Chime, and great call by you in this switch up in composition, as it is clearly working, and they are retaking positioning. But again, 3 minutes 30 on 0.2 is or 0.3, excuse me, is a ton of time. So really good push here by Dreamland, who do have a couple ults available, 3 ready for the side of 100 Thieves.
It sort of builds off of what you mentioned earlier, Shib, where 100 Thieves have mentioned they're still working on their triple compositions. And at the moment, you know, their solution to not being the best team at triple solo duelist is just go back over to it in the name where, oh my god, early pick from Stinkrs.
We go with TTK with that Ayavagamoto. Is going to break that Sia quickly. Terra going to find Chuckles, though, and raw damage into a Hulk is your answer. Rez comes right back from Chuckles as Valentina is going to be on that rocket. Stinkrs with a mean ult there onto delenaa. Great positioning, is going to find one, and they're trying to break through and press forward. But again, Under Thieves doing a decent job of holding. Ults are going to be up slightly for 100 Thieves. Dreamland building and taking the space. Vinnie going to launch that Groot hug, and it does find one as Jibory goes down. Good positioning there. Malenia on the Star-Lord off that strategist roll is clearly looking pretty good right now. Has not fell once, and does have that ult available if ready and necessary. And there's not a lot of answers for it on their team right now.
Yeah, the change up at the moment is that they can at least deal with these off angles. It was really just sort of Vinnie before. Now on Groot, Malenia is the one kind of dealing with him. And in the sky, he commits already an early ultimate. Does get brought in by a sonic seduction and also the extra damage from the see you later.
Yeah, unfortunate timing there. If that ult was used just a little bit early, there would not have been an answer, but it is now able to be matched twice. Terra going to find Valentina. Chime takes out Harvey. Terra again onto Mace here on this Phoenix, looking insane at the moment. Dreamland just trying to get their footing back the way it had it before, and they are looking like they have the space. This is a very strong push so far, but now turning this corner is where it gets dicey, and that is a pick there on a Jibory by Terra. And here comes the whale. Does that land? It does not. Good positioning as they walk back and try to find a few more.
Yeah, stinkrs has been looking for some absolute hero whales throughout the series, but now he's stunned up. Hard pocket onto him from the jet from across the map, but with all the water in the world, unfortunately, Namor still falls.
And that's just a confident play there by TTK in the back line, pressing into a Hulk Namor, excuse me, and still getting a pick through that is either just insane play or some really strong focus by the strat line as they are walked back. Terra, notice, folks, the focus on the squids prior to every fight. That is huge. Look at that squid there. It will be, as I say that, it is deleted now, but the ult's out, so there's no need for focus in that moment. But again, constantly getting deleted in these neutrals. Huge ult here by Vinnie. Will this get a few? It does. TTK going to clean up two through that as Vinnie finds Mace, and there is a minute left here for Dreamland, and again 100 Thieves holding on, and they will have even ults in this next fight, actually slightly up as Mace needs to grow there and Chime does have it. So 100 Thieves doing a great job in these rotations.
This is one of the harder points to fully cap out on Hold the Jolly. At least it's difficult, especially when the flexibility of one of the support players is they could play Star-Lord, and delenaa also play that Luna Snow. Who would have thought we would have seen this out of 100 Thieves? Dreamland now entering last fight territory. Have to make something work. Last time Chime was countered. Terra's also on the flank.
Chuckles just keeping eyes forward, does make that switch there. No more of that team up as Malenia is going to find one with some focus from delenaa, who is on that Luna as discussed, getting picked still, has that duelist mindset. Terra onto Chime, stinkrs now onto Terra to trade that back, but numbers should still be up here for 100 Thieves. Chime falls with ultimate. Mace does have that psionic to counter, does a pretty good job into something like Galactic Legend. Terra is ready here with the end song, and delenaa with the dance floor.
They found the Rocket Raccoon BRB, so this kidnap comes out from stinkrs at the very least, but it's met here by that dance floor that you mentioned coming out from them. They slow it down. Sonic Seduction coming out from Dreamland.
Yeah, Psionic is out right now, and goes the end song. Does not find too much, but Malenia again gonna find a pick out of Valentina. Stinkrs now onto TTK, and that is very terrifying to go in to a Wolverine as a Strange, constantly getting pulled around. Valentina gonna be making the switch here, actually goes back and not gonna be making that portal switch just yet, and is gonna be running. Oh, now goes back again to the Strange for the teleport play. Terra gonna find Jibory. Harvey onto Chuckles. Terra again onto Mace. The portal likely will come through here. Should be enough time, but we'll see if they can get the touch. As they do, Chime buys them enough time to get in here for OT. But Malenia playing lights out right now is just popping off. Terra, Vinnie gonna find two more. Gonna spin to win through the portal and hold on before point three. 100 Thieves stop them before the full push.
And well, I guess, the best DPS players, the best duelist players sometimes are the best strategist players too. We haven't seen too many teams get stronghold in the second phase unless they're like really a way better team than their squad. Hero is the change up that Dreamland want to make. And this is the interesting thing is I think both these teams aren't necessarily playing what we expected, right? At the current moment, we got that Namor comp from Dreamland, and the 100 Thieves. They're going to continuously play around their Phoenix alongside having, different sort of Jeff players in Malenia. Maybe we'll see on this defense how it works out.
And we'll start once more. Terra on the high side. Gonna, again, focus those squids. Always a priority. Make sure you're taking that advice into ladder. I promise you it will help you into this team up. Terra finding stinkrs immediately. This is lights out play. Hyper aggro with the portal exactly as described. The portal play working as Vinnie just holding the whole team back, burning those cooldowns to stay healthy. Great focus by Malenia there. And now still owning this space. 90 charge already available here for TTK. Is going to try to expel that dark magic on the front line. Not going to get too much value, and here goes the tackle right onto Terra, who's able to hold on here. Ton of damage goes out from Malenia. Terra finds Mace. They're dealing a ton of damage with that melee cancel at the moment, finding the pick with the left click after the fact. TTK focusing now heavy onto stinkrs, who takes that height. Deals a ton of damage, and down goes Chime. And again, 100 Thieves through this portal early on, making a huge play and might actually take this point. There goes that cancel, and that's the downside to Rocket when that is available. And Phoenix is out on the table, and that should be enough for them to get this point. It is.
Yeah, this goes back to Terra. I mean, finding the pick off onto stinkrs. You know what? Like, they lose all their damage. He also has to come back onto Doctor Strange, even though they get those grabs and, you know, have everybody there. Where's the damage, right? Stinkrs is pretty much the solo king of the comp, right? And it's tough losing him that early. He thought, I believe, they maybe had the resurrect. Valentina was playing Rocket Raccoon. Maybe with the BRB, he would come back, but maybe Vinnie found that BRB early. It doesn't show up in the KO feed, or the BRB was too far away from where stinkrs went down. So tough situation to be in, considering that was the saving grace for Dreamland, is if stinkrs got rezzed.
Yeah, 100 Thieves took that attack personally. They do have 4 ults available. Dreamland will be close to match, actually, with 5 here shortly. We'll have a slight advantage. It's all about this fight now. There will be a ton of Qs being popped. We see an early psionic seduction here from Mace. Down under the ground goes Malenia. Will that land? It's going to instead use it to force out a ton of cooldowns and not even going to worry about it. That is enough of a success there. But out is immediately committed here from Harvey with the boundary. But they're going to keep it rolling, I guess. TTK onto chime and stinkrs and Mace. I thought that was a bit of an overcommitment, but I was incredibly wrong as we see 100 Thieves find 4. TTK, an absolute demon on the strain, showcasing why this hero is very much still in the meta. What a play there by TTK and Harvey.
Yeah, huge plays. And you know, that Jeff, like you mentioned, is bot eyes, right? At the moment, the ult necessarily sometimes can get hard counter, but that might be worth it if you just, you know, bait out Ultron's range in that case. Now Dreamland has to come back. Not a lot of time left, too, for them to retouch, as if 100 Thieves get to third phase, they'll have 5 minutes on the clock.
That would be insane. Again, I thought 3 minutes and 30 was a ton. Terra going to find Chime with a melee, likely on that high side, waiting for that play. Out goes the Eternal Bond, walking backwards. Under goes Malenia once more to try to escape. Jibory's ready. With that, it's Jeff, and it is available. Chuckles as well on the Hulk. TTK already has Eye. Will this again find value as Valentina forces out that cloak, which is a cooldown that can very much stop Strange. So I'm sure that is being communicated. Delenaa is going to be on that Star-Lord now. Again, he talked about the switch of the duelist and strategist. Looks like Delena's now owning that Star-Lord, and that switch has come back full circle. Up goes Terra, coming down with the end song. That does not get a pick.
You know, Delena's been on that flank pretty much the entire time. Iva comes out from TTK, able to get it off like you mentioned. Also brought in on the main side is the Hulk, and Delenaa finds stinkrs.
How is Chuckles still holding on in that moment? Down goes Chuckles there. I was going to say, that was a ton of damage out there, and good focus by TTK to essentially just counter the Hulk in that moment, who can no longer use bubble when popping ult. So that is the answer. Delenaa going to find Valentina. TTK on a chime, and they will get point 2 here with more time than Dreamland. The question is, will they be able to push through and end this, or will Dreamland bounce back on the defense much like 100 Thieves did?
Yeah, we'll have to wait and find out. I mean, Dreamland, this is the scariest spot you could be in, right? Yeah, going against the 100 Thieves, who now swap Malenia back over to that Luna Snow, right? He's on that 2-2-2 against your 2-2-2, right? But except you have the Jeff alongside the Cloaking Dagger, just using a bunch of, you know, main healing, not having the Invisible Woman out like 100 Thieves does, who can constantly set up things with that Force Physics and shut down stinkrs, in this case, on that Wolverine.
Yeah, and there are some switches. It's exactly what we saw. Oh, what a tackle out of the sky. Are you kidding me? Delenaa goes down. Chime going to commit the Galactic Legend there. And Delenaa immediately going to make that switch over to Warlock after that tackle. What a play there by stinkrs.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting. I feel like the Star-Lord is definitely a good hero, and I'm a little worried, I think, for 100 Thieves side to not play it. But, I mean, yeah, like we said, I mean, stinkrs, huge pull out of the sky, comes up Gets that grab. He's done it before, too. Now in this upcoming fight, 2 minutes, 50 seconds left in the clock, right? We do have a trailing president from Vinnie. 100 Thieves pretty much have won most of the time when they have this combination of him and Terra. Can Dreamland do anything against it, right? Can they stall it out? If they Jeff ult, it's going to get Terra ulted, but we'll see, as TDK also has Agamotto to follow this up.
Yeah, this is the tricky position to be in when you're on Groot into a Wolverine with the ultimate available. Stinkrs launches that last stand. That's a huge... Oh, it gets stuffed there, I believe. Does find one as Jibory goes down. Vinnie gonna find Chuckles. Numbers in their advantage again. Terra gets tackled, but does drop back using cooldowns and in a very dangerous position. Yes, down goes Stinkrs from Harvey with that pick. Make that mace as well. And the 100 Thieves squad is walking now. The question is, can they stop this? Is a portal gonna come through? Haven't seen it yet. Terra onto Valentina. Chime onto Terra to turn that back. Numbers even out very close to point here with 2 minutes on.
Hey, we have a meter to go. Oh my God, touches in the nick of time is Chuckles. Stinkrs also going to come back onto Psylocke as well. 100 Thieves can't even portal because TTK was still alive on Dr. Strange, so Terra's not going to be in this fight as Dreamland have the 6.
Wow, this is insane. Huge eye of Agamotto opportunity goes out. It does find a bunch as Vinnie takes out one. We get another here. Make it 3 as delenaa and Terra. Chime falls and 100 Thieves win the map.
I mean, who needs that Phoenix in the fight if you just do that? TTK, you called it out earlier, was a hero on the map for 100 Thieves. 2-1 lead now for the squad. Dr. Strange gameplay has led this team before, and it seems to be doing it again, Shib, as they win and get themselves on map point. Almost there to securing themselves for the playoffs if they were to win this one and then also the next series.
I mean, you gotta, although the MVP was very much sent over there to a well-deserved Terra, 45-6, 23 finals, TTK's eyes. There was 2 just absolutely game-winning eyes that poke here on the side of 100 Thieves. But again, I personally think this comp isn't horrible for them. It's tricky with the backline strategist when you are running that Ultron and thinking about sure how well it's going to bode for them. But 100 Thieves has been insane, so we'll see.
As they pick it up now, Dreamland got to go over back to their original composition. They get out that Loki alongside that Rocket Raccoon yet again for a very evasive backline. But 100 Thieves wanting to play this front-to-back style. Kidnap coming from Chuckles again.
And as I mentioned, not having sustained, Malenia is going to make that switch over to Luna to make that answer immediately, or, you know, get shut down there. So the switch in comp already coming through. A huge tackle here is going to find value as Chuckles goes down. Terra on the Wolverine. Saw a lot of that early on in Ignite Stage 1. And now it is back again. Potentially one of, if not the best Wolverine in the game. Mace falls 2 as we will see this come back. delenaa on the hit scan. Terra again back and forth with these duelists. Looking like I said, stage 100 Thieves at this moment, just walking them down.
Yeah, I don't think Dreamland expected Mr. Terra to be on the Wolverine. That was terrifying for sure. And, you know, they get the kidnap, but at the end of the day, they've kind of kidnapped their own point percentage away from them. 100 Thieves still have that objective. delenaa also goes over to the Ultron off of the Phoenix. That's going to be interesting, I think, in the long run. Not sure if we've seen the Ultron alongside the solo duelist Wolverine. Moving forward, though, Dreamland do not and haven't prioritized the Invisible Woman ship. That's been something that's not been in their mind, and that kind of allows Terra to get so much more value consistently. Nothing's really countering him besides the Magneto on Wolverine.
As we start up once again, Vinnie is going to have that strangling prison available. The Groot hug, if you will, if you are my friend Cozy. As we start up again, there it is. Does find one, but can they collapse? Doesn't look like they can. Chuckles, as I say that, does fall relatively quickly. Good focus there with some good walls to buy them enough space. Huge last stand from Terra on a Chime, and those even 1 trades. If you find one with an ultimate, that is plenty. You do not need full stack ults. I believe that is one of the bigger struggles from folks who are trying to climb the lower side of the ladder. They think they need to find a 5-piece with every ultimate. 1 is plenty of value, or even forcing out cooldown. CTK finds another Vinnie onto Chuckles, and 100 Thieves are already at 80%.
Yeah, this has been an absolute snowball from 100 Thieves' side. I mean, Dreamland might have won the first domination, but in this case, I don't know what you do versus 100 Thieves when they're this free at the current moment. You have 10% to go. You can't touch because Dr. Strange isn't picked up for the squad. They're going to make it dicey, but you at least have ultimates to work with.
So owning this space at 99% now. It's all about one alt fight for them. Dreamland trying not to commit too much and still get the point here, as Chime immediately going to put that end song Inferno out. Valentina going to launch with this TTK though, going to find one. Delenaa onto Chuckles. Even through these alts are making it happen. Valentina going to res back stinkrs, who is back in the fight again, holding on to the point. And there is that strangling prison and a double follow-up once more. Make it 3. Why don't you? As Terra gets another. It's all about cleaning up the point now, and 100 Thieves are going to get this job done very quickly.
Wow. I mean, that was a dominant performance from 100 Thieves. If we take a look at the stats after this, you're not going to see many elims going on to their way. I mean, we saw delenaa go down once, and then maybe like somebody else went down, but they kept focusing the vanguards of 100 Thieves, and the pocket was just there from, like you mentioned, with delenaa. I mean, only one. It was literally at the very beginning, and it took 3 people to take him down. So not exactly the best, start for a Dreamland.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a compositional change up here. We are going to have that cap, with the Freedom Charge to help bide a little bit more time on point, as we see Chime now on that Ultron. There is going to be a shift a bit in composition now. There's a bit of more of an open map as we start once more. But yeah, I mean, 100 Thieves, there was no contest right there.
This is the interesting part of 100 Thieves, is like they have close series and then they eventually just kind of do this, right? Like this was their losses in their group stages. Like they would lose too early, right? They would lose like a map early or whatever, and then they would just come back, and then on the 3rd map when it was like 1-1 tied, they would just dominate. And it was like they were just playing with their food. Like this team somehow, like I don't know what it is, but they just sandbag early and then just crush their opponents. But Dreamland still have a chance here. And I mean, it doesn't exactly bode well that 100 Thieves have, ults to work with.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. As here we go once more. Chuckles going to try to put some pressure on that back line and force them to not just allow those pocket front line to do whatever they want. And here goes the play on to the side of Chime's up in the sky on the left side, just owning this position in a pretty decent place here. You talked about Ultron not always having the best maps. There are some decent angles here, but Terra just going to walk through, find 2 instantly. That is crazy. Going to dodge that immediately and find another one. Wow, what a play there by Terra, as delenaa going to clean up Chuckles, TTK on a Mason. Oh my goodness, make it a quadra there. That was insane play. You see the little smirk on his face, trying to act like he didn't just do that on camera. That was clean.
That was clean. That's why we talk about him in some of the categories of best duelist in the game. Just kind of does it himself. Did cost his ult, obviously, but still took down 2 immediately. And 100 Thieves in a good spot now. Dreamland have to keep this up, right? They have to come back into it. A problem for them earlier is they looked a little nervous at points, and 100 Thieves definitely looked locked in.
Yeah, I agree. It's ever since they lost that first map, they've looked like a brand new team. Only some small struggles, but outside of 1 or 2 fights, they always seem to come back and roll for a few fights in a row. Dreamland, an incredibly strong team. I think just a little bit of a mentality, morale, or maybe even momentum shift right now. They need to try to work on and get that back, as that early Psionic is not going to be able to find too many walking. And there is the close off here, trying to find value onto MACE, who does fall. Good focus there by 100 Thieves, who used that strangling prison on one target and just make sure that pick goes through, and 1 target's more than enough, again, like we had discussed. And again, 60% no touch here for Dreamland, and down in ults as stinkrs is forced to ult.
He's like in a 1v3 right now, and he's trying to get rid of these people on point. Oh my goodness, he goes down to Terra 2, waste of an ult, unfortunately. And Dreamland, their route to success on map number 1 was through stinkrs, right? He was a big reason why Dreamland looked good. And honestly, same thing with the qualifiers. They looked even better, Dreamland did, in the qualifiers. That's why we're talking about them as one of the top teams, because stinkrs was pretty much Psylocke one-tricking and was just crushing people. But now on Phoenix, and now that he's met his match on Terra, 100 Thieves are really trying to close out on Dreamland in pretty convincing fashion.
Wow. Really smart play there by TTK. Ton of damage out onto the front line. Vinnie gonna find MACE, and again, folks, this is a dicey position. This is the most lights out play by a team in domination we have witnessed in a long time. No mistakes here, and just constant value in picks. The portal has to come through. The touch comes through, but now likely down in numbers, and there goes Chuckles' portal. Will they be able to commit? They're gonna try to stand in front. stinkrs is gonna find Terra, though. That might be enough of a momentum shift they need to keep this moving forward. TTK gonna put eyes on Jibory, who goes goes down. MACE finds hxrvey, though, to try to trade this. There goes another strangling prison from Vinnie, which is unable to get too much value yet. delenaa going to take out Chime in the sky. Stinkrs onto delenaa to even that again. And I believe Dreamland now are going to hold on as Chuckles takes out Malenia. No real strategist to keep the team up as hxrvey's coming back. But TTK's committing either way. Finds a few in the back line. Not able to make that happen through the strange shield, but a great idea. But still a lot of commitment for a fight that they might have been down on. But you know what? Coming in again, Terra going to find Valentina on the off angle. And even though they gave up point, the numbers are roughly even again.
They are. I mean, maybe you could pick off somebody here, but the even point and the flip comes through from Dreamland. If they win this close fight, that bode well for moving forward because hxrvey commits that invisible boundary.
Yeah, again, there's a lot of commitment when being down in numbers. I think they just wanted to end it quickly, feeling confident, but them doing that may have put them in a disadvantageous position here as stinkrs has ult, Chuckles has ult, and there's nothing really on the answer as Terra goes down there from Chime.
Yeah, nice job from Chime. That's definitely huge moving for them. And at the moment, you know, you put Chime over to that Ultron. He deals with him in the sky. delenaa sure finds one. But as long as they're only getting one, that's what matters, right? The problem is in previous fights, for every one you get, it just felt like 100 Thieves were getting multiple. Finally, stinkrs getting online. Maybe something is going to get started for Dreamland.
Yeah, I mean, this is that momentum shift, right? Like, this, it's starting to look like a team that's coordinated again. Oh, just going to go right to the back line here and play aggro on the spawn. And that is a crazy smart play. stinkrs goes down. That is genius here. Coming in again, up in numbers. stinkrs going to have to res back. No way to get here quickly. Is going to switch immediately over to the Wolverine and try to get back fast with some of those dives. But again, up in numbers. They got to make a play now. 100 Thieves needs to make something happen. Ult advantage up for Dreamland, but 100 Thieves is closely on that tail. As TTK and Vinnie are almost there. Malenia, hxrvey, Terra, all of them available at this moment now. Up goes the commitment from Terra, who gets stuffed pretty quickly. There is that strangling prison from Vinnie, who keeps finding success with that. Will they be able to focus through? They cannot. From through the Ultron, keeping them up on the side of Chime. Good focus there. delenaa now going to try to put some focus out. Terra cleans up Chuckles again, up a number, make that 2. As delenaa finds Valentina, Terra onto MACE. Getting back at 90% here for Dreamland. Both portals being used. Vinnie onto stinkrs. delenaa finds Chime, and that is a very rough here for Dreamland. That could be the end, and 100 Thieves could have put them down on the lower side bracket. They do.
Wow, that was incredible by 100 Thieves, and like we mentioned, Shiv, that is how they always do it. It feels like the last map of the series for 100 Thieves is just them pedal to the metal, not even giving the team a chance, right? Like, that was just dominance from start to finish. Maybe there were some times when you thought Dreamland would come back, right? They had some bright spots, but again, jibory going down, unfortunately, is a pretty big deal, right? On the Jeff, do you need that at least ultimate later on in the fight? Just goes down for free without even using his ult, and tough spot for Dreamland. They have some bright spots, but we already know the one who shines brightest is Terra in 100 Thieves because they're moving into the second round, and Shiv, that means every single favorite today won. Yeah.
I mean, we had a couple series that at least pushed an extra game each, but yeah, I mean, it was very decidedly in the favor of the higher seed all day today. And I mean, we got to say it, 3 consecutive MVPs here from Terra is wild as 100 Thieves press